So as a Minnesota Viking, you probably had the trainer, and the trainer was telling you what you needed to do when you originally hurt your knee. And what were his thoughts about you going and seeing Ed Leffler?
Well, I think back then, I think I was long in the tooth in my career that I could stand up and say some things, to, you know, to our trainers and doctors that, hey, listen, I found something that works for me.
Right.
I understand traditional medicine. There's a place for that. There's a place for surgery. There's a place for all of those therapies and surgeries and you know, techniques and all of that stuff. But I was willing to take a chance. I was willing to you know, I'm going to try this.
Yes.
You know, this is what I need to do for me. I think this is going to keep me back on. I mean, along with that, and like I said, I was non-traditionalist. I mean, even back in the day, I tried acupuncture.
Oh, wow.
You know, because again, if it was a team health approach to keep me healthy back on the field,
Sure.
and if this was part of, you know, that team to do that, then that's what I was going to do.
Yes.
So I wasn't going to be, I didn't want to be dictated to what I could do and what I couldn't do regarding my health.
Sure.
So
You are in charge of yourself.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we all have to, you know, we all have to trust, you know, because doctors are here for a reason, surgeons are here for a reason.
Right.
But there's also alternatives, you know, to help us through that non-evasive surgery, that non-evasive treatment.
Yeah.
So it's been a part. So like I said, when we reconnected 3 years ago, it was pretty amazing to look at the advances that were made with the therapies, the short periods of time. I mean, I'm in and out 45 minutes.
Wow.
So you know, on my way. No, you can't be real crazy. Now I don't leave the treatment table and go right to the golf course right then.
He usually stops for lunch first.
Yeah, at least
For a day. For a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like you say, there's really nothing to lose. You can, if this doesn't work, you can always go and have surgery, you know, when you get to that point. But you've been really fortunate, and it has worked for you. And I know your stats are really high. You're at 95%, I believe.
We are,
Yeah.
and you know, but we understand we somewhat choose our patients too.
Okay.
We don't accept all pain patients.
Okay.
I never will. We know what we specialize in.
Okay.
We know what our boundaries are, and those types of injuries, come on in. That's what we're about.
Right.
Greg has stepped out of the box long ago, back in the 80s when he was still playing football.
Sure.
I think you visited with a chiropractor that had bought equipment from me. And,
Absolutely.
you were using chiropractic
Yep.
back then, and you got introduced to Acuscope. And then all of those years go by, and here we reunite.
Yeah.
It was kind of an exciting day.
Yeah.
You know, the memory of the 1984 episode on Good Company, and 26 years later, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's just been that long, Ed. You're getting old, man.
Yeah.
Just
I
did.
have to quit putting gray hair in my, coloring my hair. No.
That's right.
Oh, that's a great story, yeah. And, well, with your career as, of course, you know, a former Minnesota punter, you were hit a lot. And it's not like, you know, an everyday weekend warrior. But now that you've come back and also given back to the community, which I want to thank you for as well, your contribution back. And, you know, that's pretty fantastic because, you know, now that you are pretty well known as, you know.
Well, Tina, we've been fortunate to have a platform with our foundation and with some of the work that we have done over the years in the community, and one being in particular a golf tournament that we host every year, every August.
Okay.
And the benefactor is the Y Tutors program at the University YMCA,
Okay.
because we're able to touch over 800 kids with students from the University of Minnesota, tapping those students in with middle school and high school kids with a focus on education and their after-school programs, and monitoring those kids through and looking at the difference that it makes with somebody just giving them just a little bit of encouragement, helping them with different study patterns and all of those things, and,
Sure.
and just encouraging them to do what it takes to make sure that you get a quality education. Because growing up, I was always taught, that regardless to how great a football player you were, or a basketball, a baseball, if sports was that mechanism that you used, no matter how great an athlete you were, sooner or later, you will be an ex-athlete. But one thing about education, if you get that solid, that's a baseline, that's a foundation, and no one can take that away from you. And my wife has been a lifelong educator. Even before, you may not even know this, before I even started my career in the NFL, I was a high school teacher.
I didn't know that.
That's right.
That's amazing.
That's right. So, education has always been a strong suit, and we believe that that's a foundation. So with that, we use that platform, and we've been very fortunate to see the lives that we touch. We never see all of the kids that we make the difference in their lives, but we know by planting those seeds that we will reap a harvest, sooner or later.
Yeah, because those kids are our future.
Without question, and that's not a cliche. I mean, we see the results of good seed, bad seed being played out, in front of us each and every day.
Sure.
And but know this, that all of our kids are not going to hell in a handbasket. There are a lot of kids that are doing some really neat things. There's some great people in our society, and there's some great young people, and we're just doing whatever we can to make sure that they have a chance to succeed.
Yes, that's fabulous. I wanted to talk a little bit about education being the baseline, because the odds of them becoming a professional football, basketball, or actual,
the numbers,
any type of...
Tina, the numbers are staggering. I mean, and here's how I'll do this. You look at every Pee Wee football team just in the Twin Cities area.
Sure.
Then you look at all the high school teams. You look at all the middle school teams. You look at all the colleges, all of the kids that play the football. And there are only 32 teams in the National Football League. So all of those kids in Pee Wee, middle school, high school, college are vying for 1,500 jobs in the entire world. So think of the odds.
Yes.
Now that's just in the state of Minnesota. Now you multiply that times the entire country.
Right.
The odds are unbelievable.
Yes.
So the odds of you making it to the NFL, NBA, or Major League Baseball, the odds are against you. But if you're fortunate enough to make it, make sure that you have something, to back you up, because everybody's not $1 million bonus baby. You're not going to have the $45 million contracts or $107 million baseball contracts.
Right.
So you got to have something
to fall back on.
Absolutely, and that education is that foundation that you can make sure that you can do whatever you need to do. Because I thought I was pretty good, but even as good as I wasn't going to play forever.
Yes. And who knows, if you wouldn't have met Ed with the knee injury, maybe you would have been cut. Maybe, you would have gone another route.
And that's a great point, because there's always somebody waiting to take your job.
Yes.
On the football field, and even in the workplace. If you're not able to stay actively in your chosen occupation, workers' comp and all that kind of stuff, but if you're not productive, somebody's going to replace you, whether it's in sports or if it's in the business world. So health is so important. Doing whatever you can to stay healthy, to maintain those, your livelihood, and just living life.
Yeah, and having a good quality of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's for sure. Ed, any input that you'd like to put?
Well, playing in pain or working in pain is no fun.
Right.
When you're compromised in that area, I would encourage people to pick up the phone and call us. They can explain their injury over the phone.
Sure.
They can come in for a free consult. We'll take a look at the situation.
Sure.
And direct them into the proper therapy.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really great, yeah.
Our success rate, as you know, Tina, we've had, you've been into my clinic. You've seen people coming and going.
Oh, yes, and the testimonies that I saw, too,
the testimonials are vast.
Yes.
Several hundred at this point.
Exactly, yes.
And as I said, the technology has been getting better and better. We really don't do a lot of advertising. We haven't had to. We've had great word-of-mouth referrals, which makes me very happy.
Well, when you say
it tells us we're doing something.
Yes, exactly.
Something of value. And I think that's what the word I put on our therapy is, it has a high value to it. It's not like waiting and waiting and waiting. When is it going to work? No, when they're up from that table from the very first appointment on, they realize that, yes, this is changing. My pain is going away.
Yes.
So it's very gratifying. I think I have one of the best jobs in the world.
Yeah, you actually help them.
Well, the body heals
Exactly.
itself, truthfully. We just nudge them a little bit.
Yeah. And being non-invasive is a fabulous tool in itself, right there.
We can't cause harm, and that's another plus.
Yes.
I can't claim to help everyone. I wish I could.
Yes.
But the fact is, I've never made anyone worse. We either get them better or nothing happens, and so few times nothing happens. It's always, wow, I want to come back.
Yes.
I've got friends with this kind of a back problem, or I have friends with bad knees. And, you know, life is too short to be trudging through it with pain. They don't have to suffer. So call ABT.
Yes. Now, when you went in with your knee injury, were you another person that walked in, hobbled in with your knee, and then almost jumped off the table and just walked out without even realizing, or what was it?
I think the knee was not as a tough a deal as neck and back.
Oh, okay.
Because I've had, you know, continuous neck issues from years and years, and back. I mean, the knee is a no-brainer. I mean,
Okay.
boom, done.
Oh, okay.
The back and neck will probably, as Ed talked about it, and as I've known, will be a continual problem.
Sure.
For a number of years. It is what it is. I can't undo the damage.
Right.
But we can manage it. And that's what we have been able to do. And you said it earlier, Tina, to have that quality of life.
Yes.
With as less pain as possible. You know, that's what we all want to do.
Okay. Well, we only have a few minutes, and I was wondering if there are any last-minute thoughts that Greg Coleman, former Minnesota Viking punter, has to say to my viewers.
Well, you know, you're in charge of yourself. You're in charge of your own life. There are choices that we make, and sometimes we have to live with those choices. But if you choose to take a different view from traditional therapies and treatments, and I think Ed mentioned it earlier, we've never made anyone worse.
Right.
What do you have to lose? If it works, great. If it doesn't, you know you always have that traditional place in medical technologies and surgeries that you can go through, but I'd say, man, give it a shot.
Yeah, that's great. Ed?
Well, I would invite anyone who's having this type of pain to give us a call.
Sure.
Your life can change very, very quickly. And as I said, life is short to begin with. Why not enjoy it to the fullest?
Yes.
People in pain aren't living that life.
No.
And they need to pick up that phone and call us, set up a free consult, and let the rest become history.
Sure. That sounds fantastic. Okay, well, appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Tina, thank you.
Thank you.
Tina, thank you so much for having us on.
Oh, it's been a delight.
It's been wonderful.
Yes, thanks. Please tune in for my other shows of Knowledge for Wellness, being televised throughout the 120 communities in the Twin City area, or visit my website at knowledgeforwellness.com for more detailed information in your area. And you can also connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And the mission of Knowledge for Wellness is to inform viewers on health issues, to expose, educate, and make viewers aware, to enhance themselves and their loved ones for a better quality of life. And I sure hope we have provided you with more knowledge to educate you and your loved ones. So until next time, be well and goodbye. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Over time you've healed so much in me, and I am living proof that although my darkest hour had come, your light could still shine through. And at times it's just enough to cast the shadow on the wall. Though I am grateful that you shine your light on me